He hasn't said a word in 10 minutes, but he already knows exactly what's wrong in this room. While everyone else was talking, he was reading faces, reading tone, reading silence, reading what people were hiding. People assume he's shy or distant or lost in his own head. They're wrong. He isn't lost at all. He's collecting information the rest of the room will never even notice exists. Psychologists have a name for people like this. They're called high observers, and they process the world differently. Where most people speak first and think later, observers reverse the order. They watch, they absorb, they wait. Not because they have nothing to say, because they've learned that words spent too early often miss the point. Their silence isn't empty, it's active. Behind it, their brain is running a constant, quiet analysis. Micro-expressions, shifts in posture, the pause before someone answers a question, details most people never register at all. And this habit didn't appear by accident. Often, it was built early, in homes where speaking up came with risk, a loud argument, an unpredictable parent, a room where silence felt safer. So the child learned a survival skill instead of a social one. Watch first, understand the room, then decide if it's safe to speak. That skill never really switched off. It grew into something psychologists call heightened environmental sensitivity. The nervous system stays slightly more alert than average, always scanning, always cross-checking what's said against what's felt. It's exhausting sometimes, but it's also a form of quiet mastery. Because these people rarely get blindsided. They sense tension before it becomes conflict. They sense dishonesty before it becomes a lie spoken out loud. Here's what most people miss about quiet observers. They form deeper, more accurate impressions of people than talkative ones do. A 2014 study on communication styles found something surprising. Quieter individuals recalled significantly more detail from social interactions. While extroverted talkers were busy performing, observers were busy learning. This is why the quiet coworker often predicts outcomes first. Why the quiet friend gives advice that actually lands. They aren't guessing, they've been gathering evidence the entire time. There's also an emotional cost most people never mention. Carrying that much awareness can feel isolating, because few people ask what the quiet one actually sees. Most just assume there's nothing going on beneath the surface. Society rewards volume. It rewards the loudest voice in the meeting. So observers get overlooked, mistaken for passive or unmotivated. In reality, they're often the most emotionally intelligent person in the room. Silence gets mistaken for having nothing to offer, when it's actually the sound of someone still deciding what matters. Some are labeled cold, when they're simply cautious with their words. Others are labeled weak, when restraint is often a form of strength. The truth is, they're not holding back because they lack confidence. They're holding back because they respect the weight of what they say. If this sounds like someone you know, look closer. That person remembers the small thing you mentioned once in passing. They notice when your energy shifts before you say anything at all. They're not disengaged, they're deeply engaged, just quietly. And if this sounds like you, this is your reminder. Your silence was never a weakness to fix. It's a skill the loudest people in the room will never develop. So the next time someone asks why you're so quiet, tell them, you're not quiet, you're just paying attention. And that changes everything.